Our story begins with Song, who works diligently at the Taeum Art Museum. She's known for her precision and discipline. One day, her colleague tells her that the plane carrying their art shipment has been delayed, and the artwork is now stuck at customs. This means the exhibition will be delayed, something that does not sit well with Song. After work, the team locks up the museum and stays behind to prepare the exhibition hall. Eventually, the delayed shipment arrives, and they work through the night. By the next day, Song is still there, cleaning up before the grand opening. The featured artist, Choi, is introduced and prepares to speak about her painting. Song expects to be acknowledged, but instead, Choi thanks the museum director for her efforts, which disappoints Song deeply. Later, Song glances at her watch, leaves in a rush, hops on a scooter, and pays the driver extra to get her somewhere as fast as possible. Her coworkers watch her speed off, impressed by how serious and relentless she is about her work. She arrives at a street locker, retrieves a bag, and quickly changes clothes. Donning all black, including a mask and cap, she heads to a venue where many fans are gathered. A car arrives, dropping off a musical group. Song is there to see her idol, the singer Sian. She takes countless photos, ecstatic. At one point, he drinks water and throws the bottle into the crowd. Song catches it and later places it among a vast collection of memorabilia she's gathered about him. Her obsession runs deep. She's plastered his images all over her home, runs a fan page, posts his news, and often puts everything aside just to follow him or take his photo. One day, while watching a video of him, she hears him talk about a painting by an artist named Sol, saying he wants to collect all her works. Song decides she'll try to get him one of Sol's paintings as a birthday gift. Meanwhile, we shift to New York, where a young, handsome art critic and painter named Ryan visits an exhibition to evaluate young artists. He arrives late and doesn't even greet the gallery owner. He's a bit arrogant. Observing the paintings, he shares his odd method of critique. If I look at a painting for a second and it's ugly, and for 2 seconds it's okay, then it's mediocre. He stops at one painting, smirks, and tells a curious girl nearby, "This artist has neither taste nor talent." It turns out the painting was hers. Embarrassed, she runs off. As Ryan is leaving, a fan stops him and asks for an autograph. She also asks if he has any new work coming soon. He pauses, signs, and walks away. Shortly after, he's seen with his psychiatrist, tossing a ball around instead of focusing. The doctor warns him not to hit a valuable painting. Ryan names its price instantly, knowing everything about it. The doctor asks if Ryan bought it because he liked it or because it was cheap. Ryan replies sarcastically. The doctor then diagnoses him with Stendhal syndrome, a condition where certain artworks make him emotionally or mentally blocked from painting. Ryan reveals he's seen many therapists, undergone hypnosis for 3 years, all to no avail. The doctor admits his own limitations, suggesting Ryan stop coming to him. But Ryan pleads, "After all this, you want to abandon me? I'm not letting go." He insists the doctor continue helping him, even if he's a failure. The doctor then tells him that the singer Sian owns one of the paintings that triggers Ryan's symptoms. This motivates Ryan to seek out the rest of the artist's work, or at least find the artist herself. Back in Korea, Song's boss Ayum questions her sudden departure the day before. Song explains that she went to attend Xian's concert under the excuse of presenting him with an art donation. Ayum scolds her for using work as cover and accuses her of being obsessed. Song admits she celebrates his birthday and cheers him on during exams. Ayum then orders her to purchase every artwork by Ivanov for the museum. Song visits her mother and tells her she's going on a business trip. Her mother, still frustrated with Song's obsession, warns, "If people find out you're still chasing that singer, I'll shave your head." And his too. Song tries to deflect by complimenting the food. Her mom reminds her how she once broke her arm chasing after him and wasted so much money on concerts instead of studying abroad. Song defends herself, saying, "Who else would I take after if not you?" She points to her mom's nonstop knitting and her dad's obsession with stones. Her mom laughs, packs her food, and tells Song to take it with her. She also makes Song's brother drive her home. At the door, her brother tries to guess the password. She laughs, and he says, it's either his birthday or the day he debuted. The next day, Song travels to New York and attends an art auction, hoping to buy Sol's painting for Sian's birthday. She sits next to a very handsome man and thinks he looks just like Xian. The man is Ryan. He notices her staring and says, "I know I'm handsome. The lines are perfectly symmetrical." She thinks he's referring to the painting, but he clarifies he's talking about himself. When Sol's painting is up for auction, Song is determined to buy it. But Ryan is also there specifically to get it, as instructed by his therapist. They keep outbidding each other until Song runs out of funds. Ryan wins the painting. Outside, she begs him to give her the painting, revealing that she works in the arts. Ryan coldly tells her the painting has no real value and criticizes people who buy art just because the artist is famous. He walks away. Song returns to Korea and, upon landing, is met by the police and her director, Ayum. She is taken into custody over an embezzlement case at the museum. It turns out Ayum and her husband were the ones responsible. After the investigation, Song is released and goes home, where she finds her best friend waiting to hear all about what happened. Song tells her friend Lee everything that happened, expressing how upset she is that Ayum deceived her and dragged her into trouble. Lee tries to comfort her, and the two of them drink together until morning. The next day, Song heads to a restaurant where she has a job interview. She's now seeking work outside of Ayum's company. The interviewer offers her a great position as a manager, and she learns that the person who recommended her had past conflicts with Ayum. Later, Song informs Ayum that she plans to settle into the new job. Ayum questions her casually, but soon realizes Song is planning to resign. Later, Song disguises herself and heads to the airport to photograph Sion again. She arrives to find the place packed with fans and begins calculating which route he'll take to maximize her photo opportunities. Coincidentally, Ryan is in the same area where Sion is expected to arrive. Once the plane lands, Song sets up her step stool at the side and waits. As Sion appears, she begins snapping photos, but Ryan stands in the way, blocking her shots. As the fans rush towards Sion, Ryan bumps into Song hard, knocking her down. As she gets up, he tries to remove her mask, but she quickly pulls away and runs. In her hurry, she drops her notebook. At home, Song edits the photos she took, but Ryan's face keeps showing up in them instead of Sion's. She darkens his eyes with shadows to hide his face before posting them. She then remembers and tells her friend Lee that Ryan is the same person who bought the painting she wanted at the auction. The next day, Song learns that Ayum has left the company and a new director will take over. She sees on the news that Ayum has been admitted to the hospital. Song visits her, filled with mixed emotions. She imagines yelling at her, even strangling her, but instead she politely hands her a fruit basket. Ayum realizes it's all just for the media and that she's not actually sick. Lee notices how frustrated Song is and decides to cheer her up by taking her to all the places Sion has visited. Song is thrilled and follows her to a hotel where Sion once stayed. Coincidentally, Ryan arrives at the same hotel. Lee tries to book the exact room Sion stayed in but is told it's already taken. As she's about to leave, she runs after the person who got it, Ryan, and asks him to swap rooms. Ryan asks for a reason, and she hesitates before saying she loves someone, and staying in this room reminds her of him. Ryan, unimpressed, refuses and walks off. Song and Lee go get drinks and watch a live broadcast of Sion's concert. Ryan comes downstairs and sees Lee sitting with someone. He recalls her words and starts thinking things over. Later, he changes his mind and agrees to switch rooms with her. Lee is overjoyed. She and Song rush into the room, jumping around excitedly, touching everything Sion had touched and reenacting his photos. They eventually fall asleep there. The next morning, Song wanders around, adjusting everything slightly out of place, like a crooked arrow sign. She notices a dim light bulb, grabs a step stool, and starts fixing it. While she's up there, Ryan walks in and asks her something. She's startled, loses balance, and falls. We then cut to a flashback. The day Song first applied for a job at the museum, Ayum was interviewing both her and another candidate. She asked routine questions, trying to decide between them. Mid-interview, Ayum received a call from her daughter, with whom she argued. After hanging up, she complained that her daughter was obsessed with a pop star and spent all her money on concerts. The other candidate admitted she liked the same singer. Ayum immediately rejected her, saying, "I can't hire someone as obsessed as my daughter. One is enough." Then she turned to Song, who pretended not to understand what they were talking about, and hired her. Back in the present, Ryan asks Song about the client who requested a painting by Saul. She replies, "Are you talking about the auction?" Ryan says, "Where else have I seen you, if not there?" She mentions her client again, and Ryan asks if the client was Xian. She plays dumb, pretending not to know who that is. Ryan says, "He's a famous singer." Song dismisses it, claiming she doesn't follow celebrities because they all look alike and she doesn't like pretty boys anyway. He then reveals he's the new museum director. Song is stunned. Ryan heads to his office, gathers the staff, and starts unpacking his things. A small notebook falls. It's Song's lost notebook from the airport. When she sees it, she realizes he picked it up. Ryan asks who's in charge of the exhibit hall, and it turns out Song is. He tells her he read what was written in the notebook. Then he announces that staff should forget about the former director's personal relationships and focus on the museum's future. After the meeting, Song enters his office and they talk about the museum. Ryan clearly seems annoyed by her presence since their first encounter. He confirms that Ayum owns the museum, but he's now fully in charge. Song later meets with Lee and tells her about Ryan, how he expects her to follow orders without question. Lee jokes that he's the craziest manager she's ever heard of, and thanks God he didn't recognize Song at the airport. Lee's son Yoon shows up and Lee talks to him about the new director. Yoon says, "It's not a big deal even if he finds out you're obsessed with Sian." Song imagines how her coworkers and manager would react if they discovered her secret. She's terrified she'll be exposed and fired. The next day at work, Song finds her coworkers watching videos of Ryan painting. They discover that he was once a talented artist who mysteriously stopped creating art. Ryan gathers Bong and another colleague to discuss a potential exhibit by artist An Myung. Ryan learns that the artist held his last exhibition 8 months ago. Song says she convinced him to consider showing his work again. Ryan calls this a bold move. Song explains that An's last work was shown during a group exhibit for the museum's 5th anniversary. Ryan points out that this would make his exhibit too similar to previous ones and asks why she didn't propose something different. He tells her he's going to cancel the exhibit. Instead, he plans to invite celebrities to display their private art collections. Song argues against it, saying they'll lose An's trust, damage their reputation, and disrupt the peaceful museum atmosphere. Ryan insists, saying the celebrity exhibits will attract wider audiences, generate more money, and that income can be used to support struggling artists who lack access to cultural opportunities. Song is torn, realizing that while this could benefit many, it could also harm their credibility. Ryan ends the conversation by asking Song to schedule a private meeting with An, but not to tell him why. He wants to deliver the news himself. Song visits An and asks for an appointment, saying the new director wants to meet him. An cautiously asks, "Is this about bad news?" She hesitates, unsure how to respond. Song admits the truth and apologizes, but An tells her not to say anything to her boss, because if the director finds out, he'll cancel the exhibition himself for personal reasons just to save face. The next day, Song goes to Ryan's office to retrieve her notebook, but as she tries to take it, he locks the drawer. Ryan walks in and finds her pretending to organize something, but she quickly leaves the room. Ryan receives a letter, and when he reads it, his expression changes completely. Meanwhile, Song enters the storage room and Ryan calls her. When he finds out where she is, he rushes over and asks her to come out, saying she no longer belongs there. He's officially fired her. Song admits she already told An that his exhibition would be canceled. Ryan loses his temper, reminding her that he told her he'd be the one to deliver that news himself. Song replies that either way, An would have found out. Ryan reveals he was planning to arrange another exhibition for An in New York. He asks Song if she's finished the proposal he asked for, but he clearly doesn't trust her anymore. He tells the team, "If anyone thinks I'm being unfair, leave with her." Song goes home, wakes up energized the next morning, prepares breakfast, and watches videos of Sian. Then she gets a message from her mother asking her to come home. When she arrives, she finds out her brother sent the message. Her parents were fighting, and he wanted her to help make peace between them. After helping out at home, she and her brother run into her friend Lee, and they all go out together. Lee offers Song a temporary job at her cafe until she finds something else. Song accepts and starts working there. Ryan comes to the cafe to get his usual drink, and Song introduces him to Lee, saying he's her ex-boss. He orders warm milk with condensed milk, no coffee. Lee comments that he always orders the same thing. Song insists on preparing his drink herself, and they get into a small argument. She ends up giving him the drink. Ryan returns to his office, where a colleague tells him she can't reach An, and that the only person An responds to is Song. She asks if he was serious about firing her. Ryan says he's going to post a job opening to find someone to replace her. Later, Song's co-workers tell her that one of the paintings was covered in mold, and they don't know what to do. She steps in to investigate. She contacts the people who had the painting and learns that the mold existed before they received it. She asks them to send back all the paintings they borrowed so she can check for other issues, and potentially expose them. Song identifies the source of the mold and solves the issue. Her coworker tells Ryan the truth, that it wasn't Song's fault, and she was only blamed because her documents were handled by Kim, AM's old assistant. That evening, Ryan visits Song at the cafe. He tries to explain the misunderstanding and asks her to come back to work, but she refuses. He then hands her a piece of chocolate, knowing she dislikes it. She sprinkles a bit of coffee on it as a sort of lighthearted punishment. He takes the drink and leaves. Later, Yoon arrives to close up with her. Song tells him how she added coffee to Ryan's drink. Just then, On calls. He wants to reach Ryan but can't get hold of him. Song leaves the cafe and finds Ryan collapsed on the ground. Her brother is with her, and they both panic. They rush him to the hospital. It turns out Ryan has a severe coffee allergy, and it could have killed him. Song stays at the hospital all night by his side. In the morning, he wakes to find her asleep, holding his hand. She wakes up and apologizes, saying she didn't know. Ryan asks her to attend a meeting with Xian, the singer. Shocked and overjoyed, she returns home to get ready. She puts on her signature all-black outfit, but after calling her friend Lee and mentioning the meeting, Lee realizes it's a job interview with Xian. Song quickly changes into her best outfit and grabs a bouquet of flowers. When she arrives, Ryan is waiting with Xian and a juice bottle. She hands Ryan the flowers, but clarifies they're for Xian. They go to Xian's home, and Ryan asks her not to show how uninterested she is in celebrities. Song is practically bursting with happiness. Xian's manager answers the door. Inside, Song sees her idol coming out of the bathroom. The manager tells them to wait while Xian gets ready. While Ryan and Xian talk business, Song's in another world. She notices a photo on the wall. It's the very first picture she took of Xian. He kept it. Xian reveals that she was the first fan to ever take his photo, and he follows her fan page, hoping to meet her someday to thank her. Song's eyes fill with tears, and she excuses herself to the bathroom, where she jumps for joy like a teenager. She accidentally turns on the faucet and soaks her clothes. When she steps out, Ryan hands her his jacket. It matches one that Xian wears. The meeting continues, and Xian explains that he wants to collect all of Seoul's paintings to display in the museum. But there are 9 in total, and he only has a few, so he's searching for the rest. After the meeting, Ryan tells Song to return to the museum and take care of the exhibit. She offers him a ride, but he declines. He doesn't have a car yet. He casually mentions that he lives in the same building as Xian. Song thinks to herself, "Lucky you," delighted at how close she's come to her idol. As she walks away, someone secretly takes photos of her. Later, Song tells her friends everything that happened, and Lee is furious she didn't get to come along. The next day, Song goes to work and is shocked to see that a photo of her and Sean has been posted online. She's initially upset, but upon seeing the image, realizes it's her in the picture, identifiable because she was wearing Ryan's suit jacket. Ryan sees the news and becomes worried for her safety after reading the intense fan comments. He meets with Xian, who's also upset about the scandal and wonders how to deny the story. Meanwhile, Song posts on her fan page the road to Xian, denying the rumor, which helps calm the fans. But one fan, the one who took the photo, still spies on Song. As Song leaves work, some aggressive fans confront and attack her. She gets injured. Ryan sees her with another man and assumes it's her boyfriend. Song heads to the restroom to clean up. Meanwhile, Ryan approaches her brother and they introduce themselves. They exchange business cards, and Ryan learns that it's actually her brother, not a boyfriend. Ryan tries to shake his hand, but Song's brother warns him Ryan doesn't usually touch people. Just then, Song rushes over and thanks Ryan for his concern. She and her brother leave. Ryan heads to the office and asks about Song. A staff member tells him she left with her brother, but Ryan had believed she didn't have any siblings. At the same time, we see Yoon sitting at home with a female journalist, his birth mother, who left him with Song's family 20 years ago. She sends money monthly but hasn't been involved in his life due to her busy work. Meanwhile, Ayum shows up at Ryan's office. Ayum coldly demands that Ryan fire Song, saying she knows something. But Ryan tells her it's not her place to decide who stays or goes, especially since there's nothing between them, and he doesn't take orders from her. She argues that Song has damaged the company's reputation and storms out. As she leaves, she runs into Song, and Ryan watches from the window. Ayum slaps Song across the face without warning. Song then goes inside the museum. Ryan asks her why she came back when he told her to take a break. Song explains she just came to send some documents and goes about her work. Later, Ryan leaves his office and sees Song sitting sadly in front of a painting. He joins her, and they talk about the artwork. Eventually, they leave the building together. As they're walking, Ryan notices a suspicious car parked nearby. Something feels off. When they part ways, Ryan sees the car speed towards Song. She's about to get hit. He runs over, yells at the driver, and pulls Song away in time. It turns out the driver is someone claiming to be Song's ex. Ryan walks away and spots Lee at her cafe with another guy, and he doesn't want Song to see her. Ryan then decides to pretend to be Song's boyfriend publicly to protect her from obsessed fans. He asks Song if she's in love with anyone, and she says no. The next day, Ryan returns to the museum and finds a crowd of reporters and fans asking about Song. Furious, he threatens one of the reporters with a lawsuit. He calls Song and tells her not to come to work. Media is everywhere. Meanwhile, Song is already at Lee's cafe, where a group of fans suddenly show up. After they leave, Song goes to the office. Ryan tells her he's planning to contact a big media page that covers Sion's news. He wants them to take photos and announce their relationship to calm the fans. Ryan checks the fan page, Road to Sion, not knowing it's actually run by Song. He's waiting when she arrives. Her phone buzzes with a new follower. It's Ryan. Ryan and Song go to meet An and propose moving his exhibition to New York. An agrees. They leave together, smiling. The next day at the office, Ryan asks when Song will finish compiling the celebrity participant list. Song mentions that he should contact Xian himself. Ryan asks to see samples of An's work, but notices Song is distracted. He pulls her aside and asks what's wrong. Song admits she's worried about going public with their relationship. She wants to think it through. Ryan assures her everything will be fine. He says he's already arranged for the admin of the Road to Xian page, still unaware it's Song, to support their story and do an exclusive interview. Song meets with Lee and confesses she was scared to reveal her real identity. Lee scolds her and asks what she plans to do next. Ryan messages the fan page, still thinking it's someone else, and requests they post something about his relationship with Song. He also mentions he found her notebook. He'd kept it since she dropped it at the airport. Song agrees and asks for some professional photos. She brings Lee to the museum the next day as the photographer. Ryan is surprised to see her being so casual with Lee and misinterprets their relationship. Lee shows Ryan some sample poses, but the photos aren't great. They all head outside to the museum garden and take close, romantic-style photos. Then they move to an amusement park and take more pictures, spending the whole day together. During this time, Yoon calls Song, but she doesn't answer. He's with Lee's son and gets worried. She eventually leaves, but not before capturing some great photos. Ryan stands in the park among the children and has a flashback of himself as a lonely child. A lost boy grabs Ryan's hand, crying. Ryan and Song help the boy reunite with his father, then continue on. Meanwhile, a mysterious girl is following Song everywhere she goes. Ryan returns home and hears a knock on the door. It's Xian, drunk and staggering. The next morning, Ryan wakes up and Xian asks what happened. Ryan explains that Xian crawled in, collapsed on the couch, and undressed himself. Song arrives at work to find Ayum waiting. Ayum apologizes for slapping her the day before. Song tells Ryan that the new intern is the one who took her photo and posted it online. Ryan asks how she knew. Song says she saw the girl photographing her as she left the building. She asks Ryan to fire the intern. But because the intern is Ayum's daughter and the one leaking all the gossip online, Ryan says they'll have to pretend to be in a relationship inside the museum as well. Song asks why he can't just fire her. Ryan reveals that it's Ayum's daughter. Song remembers what Ayum once said about her daughter being a crazy Shin fan and laughs. The staff overhears the intern say Ryan and Song are dating but doesn't believe it. The intern insists, but another employee says, that's probably why fans don't get close to her. They wonder how the fans even found out. The intern proudly reveals she took and posted the photos on the fan page. Ryan and Song walk in and find the staff looking at the photos. Ryan scolds them, asking why they're not working. One coworker asks why no one said anything. Another replies, we wouldn't have known if not for those photos. You're not even celebrities. How did a big fan page end up posting about you? They ask if he'll sue the page. Ryan says no. The photos actually helped calm the fans. Then he notices one photo he never sent to the fan page, realizing someone else uploaded it. Ryan makes it clear that nothing will change at work. Just because they're dating doesn't mean the workplace will be any different. Ayum's daughter smugly asks how long they've been together. Ryan answers sarcastically, is that what you want to know on your first day? She replies, well, we are at work, and you two don't look like you're in love. Song and Ryan are left speechless. Meanwhile, Lee is at the cafe with Yoon, who says he's taking his son to the doctor. He's scrolling on his phone when he suddenly freezes after seeing a picture of Song and Ryan. Lee snatches the phone and says, I told you I photographed them pretending to be a couple. Yoon responds, I thought you meant casually sitting together, not like that. Yoon rushes to the museum and confronts Song about the photos. She says she had to do it. Yoon asks why she didn't ask him for help. Was it because he's not her type? Song teases him, and Yoon threatens to tell her mom if she keeps it up. She promises not to tell anyone, just as Ryan walks in. Ryan asks Yoon to teach him judo. Yoon agrees and invites him to come over immediately. When they begin training, Yoon realizes Ryan already knows how to fight really well. Confused, Yoon asks, "Why did you ask me to teach you when you're already this good?" Ryan confesses he overheard their conversation, that Song was lying, and wanted to keep this secret between them. He admits that even if Song lies, he'll stand by her at least to keep her safe in the museum. He asks Yoon not to tell anyone and leaves to change clothes. Meanwhile, Lee comes by because her son is training with Yoon. She runs into Ryan and mistakes him for the person who swapped her room key at the hotel. She asks why he never reminded her all this time. Ryan asks what kind of relationship she and Song have. When she says they're close friends, he asks, "Then why were you in the same hotel room?" She nervously brushes it off, saying they just went on a getaway. Ryan suspects there's a hidden secret she's trying to expose and wonders if she's trying to out Song's fake relationship. Lee later tells Song everything, and they all laugh about the misunderstanding. Ryan returns home, frustrated that he allowed himself to think that way and got involved in this fake romance. The doorbell rings. It's a delivery man bringing food. Sian enters right behind him, asking Ryan to pay since he's not allowed to use his credit card. The producers don't want him gaining weight. Ryan teases him. "Is that why you wore that arm brace and pretended to be injured? To rest?" They both laugh. Sian says he wants to join the celebrity exhibition if Ryan keeps their talk a secret. Ryan agrees. Later, Ryan checks the messages between himself and the admin of the Road to Sion page and realizes he never sent those photos. At the same time, Ayum's daughter is getting slammed online by fans accusing her of spreading fake news. The next day, Ayum drops her daughter off at the museum. Loudly, she tells her, "Don't let anyone know you're my daughter," not realizing staff are right behind her. Of course, now they know. At work, Song prepares drinks for her co-workers when she gets a message from Ryan asking where he can meet her to return her notebook. Ryan gathers the team and asks one of Song's co-workers to read out the list of celebrities participating in the exhibit. Sian is among them. Ryan asks Song what she thinks, but she's completely distracted and doesn't respond. He explains they need a mix of artistic styles and flips through some portfolios. He comes across the work of the late artist Yoon Tae. Some of his unpublished work is reportedly with writer Ross Yuk. One of the co-workers says they tried to contact Ross, but he refused to show the artwork to anyone. Song mentions she saw one of his last paintings and it was beautiful. Ryan decides to go see the writer himself. They learn Ross lives in Gangwon, far away. Ryan says if he can't make it today, he'll go next week since the museum will be closed. A coworker asks, "Are you going alone?" Ryan answers, "Yes, I'm going alone," and walks out, clearly upset and avoiding eye contact with Song. Ayum's daughter notices this tension. Song later visits Lee and tells her everything. Lee suggests they should spend more time together publicly. Go out, stay out all day, especially with that girl still spying on her. Meanwhile, Ryan is thinking about how to get access to the late artist Manny Bell's works. He calls an old friend named Choi in New York. She's shocked to hear from him after all these years. After some catching up, she tells him there are rumors that Bell's last piece was a landscape painted in a secret location. Some claim there are more paintings that never got revealed. She says she tried contacting the author friend who has the collection, but he refused all offers. The next day, Ryan heads out to see the author. On the way, Song joins him in the car. Unbeknownst to them, Ayum's daughter is watching. It starts raining heavily, and they arrive at the writer's house completely soaked. The writer, grumpy and unwelcoming, lets them stay the night but refuses to talk about the paintings. He gives them dry clothes. In the morning, Song wakes up to find Ryan sleeping beside her. She pretends to still be asleep until he gets up and moves away. Before leaving, the author asks them to follow him to a room where he reveals the final paintings. He shares his story. His father was a soldier who was always disappointed in him for not following in his footsteps. When he told his father he wanted to be a writer, they didn't speak for years. He was never able to express his feelings. Song comments on the letters and says she once admired Manny Bell because of the author. He replies that he never told anyone he was Bell's son because he was ashamed that he ignored his father's love. Ryan says, "You might not realize it, but I'm sure Yoon knew how you felt before he passed." The author agrees to let them showcase the works in the museum. He and Ryan talk in the garden while Song takes photos. She captures lots of pictures of Ryan. On their way home, Ryan tells her she did a great job, but that he never planned to spend the night. Song happily replies that she's just glad they spent the day together. Ryan's startled, but she quickly explains it was only so Ayum's daughter could see them together and stop suspecting. She tells him the girl created a page called SEO Patch and is posting all their movements. Ryan replies, "Well then, we'd better act like a real couple in front of her." Song returns and edits the photos she took at the author's house. She smiles and blushes while staring at Ryan's picture. She's clearly falling for him. The next morning, Ryan sits down at his laptop, wanting to interact with Xian's fan page now that he knows Song runs it. He logs in using a fake name, Latte, but Song has set up a bunch of tough quiz questions to limit access. Ryan stays up all night trying to answer them. The next day, Song rushes to work, in a hurry and not waiting for the light to change. As she's crossing the street, a car almost hits her. Ryan sees her and jumps out of his own car, but a man on a scooter crashes into his door. Song later learns Ryan was injured and sent to the hospital. Someone asks her why she was late, and she starts to explain. It turns out that Joe is the one who crashed into Ryan's car. After being discharged from the hospital, Joe returns to work, but Lee tells him he should go rest. He refuses and stays at work. He asks her to lend him money because his guitar broke. Meanwhile, Ryan goes to the office and sends a message to Song through the Road to Xian fan page, watching her reaction. He tells her he wants to meet to return her notebook, but Song is frustrated and says they can't meet right now. She asks him to mail it instead. Ryan refuses, saying he's too busy all day. Later, Ryan walks into the office and Song immediately asks if he's busy. He replies that he's very busy. She offers to run any errands for him, like going to the post office or the bank. He tells her to go ahead, mostly because Xian has just arrived at the door. And as soon as Song hears that, she's visibly excited. When Xian arrives, everyone at the museum is in disbelief, constantly coming in to see him. Ryan and Xian talk, and Xian asks who's participating in this year's exhibition. He wants to join. Ryan tells him the participants include the writer Ross Yuk, the artist Cohen, and the ballerina Oh Young, along with 3 other celebrities. Xian asks if they're just using him for advertising, but Ryan says no. Xian then asks to tour the museum. A fan sees him and asks for a photo, and Song ends up taking many pictures of him. Ryan heads back to the staff room with his team, and they all begin asking when he and Song started dating and how they met. Song laughs and says they first met in America, and Ryan adds that she was the one who started talking to him. They continue teasing each other by recalling their first meeting and what they said. Meanwhile, Lee and Joe are at a music store. Lee buys him a new guitar, and he gives her tickets to his concert. At the same time, Song is with Ryan at his house. He's drunk and passed out. She helps him home and leaves. When Ryan wakes up, he remembers that he made her sing for the house password and that he was being very clingy. Embarrassed, he opens his laptop and continues taking the quiz to join the Road to Xian fan group. There's only one question left. Which spot on Xian's face has a beauty mark? Ryan starts poking at his own face, trying to figure it out, but can't find it. Eventually, he finds out where it was. It was removed. And now he understands why. Song learns that a new member joined the quiz and passed, and she becomes suspicious. Her colleague suggests, she's probably just a huge fan like us. Xian tells Ryan that he visited him last night because he had gotten one of Lee Sol's paintings. Ryan remembers the painting. It depicted a woman and a small boy. At the same time, Ayam goes to the museum and secretly follows her daughter to take pictures for her imprisoned husband, who wants to see their daughter working. Ryan visits Xian to see the painting. Xian explains there are 9 pieces in the collection. He has 3, Ryan has 1, and if they manage to gather all 9, they could hold a complete exhibition. Ryan returns home and finds he actually has 2 paintings, not 1. He stares at them, trying to draw but can't. Meanwhile, Song goes to lunch with her coworkers. Ayam's daughter asks why Ryan isn't eating with them. Song says he's not hungry. After lunch, she goes to get him a drink but finds Choi, Ryan's friend from the US, standing with him. Choi takes Ryan with her. Choi is looking for a studio to start working in Korea. Later, Ryan's apartment manager calls the museum to report that his place is flooded. Song rushes over to help and fix the water damage. After it's fixed, Ryan comes home and finds her standing in the room where he keeps his paintings. He yells at her for entering without permission and says she has no right to go anywhere in the apartment when he's not there. Song leaves, hurt. She runs into Xian, who asks if Ryan lied to her too. He tries to comfort her, assuming Ryan lied to him as well. Later, Ryan finds a gift from Song. She apologizes for not being able to come in person and says her hands are empty, meaning she came with nothing. Realizing he upset her, Ryan decides to go make things right. But at that moment, Song is at Jiwoo and Lee's concert. Ryan searches for her at work and eventually finds the event's location. But by the time he gets there, it's over. He decides to go to her house to apologize. As he approaches her, Ayam's daughter is spying again and taking photos. Ryan hugs Song in front of her, and Song is too shocked to react. Her parents, who are nearby, see this and realize something is going on between them. Her parents came to have dinner with her and invite Ryan to join. Song doesn't want them inside, so they all go to Song's mom's house instead. Ryan sees the stones her father collects and is impressed. Her mother realizes he's a foreigner and remembers what a fortune teller once told her. Your daughter will fall in love with a foreigner. As Ryan leaves, her mother gives him a bag with food and one of the stones her husband collects. At home, he discovers the contents and smiles. The next day, at work, Ryan confronts Ayam's daughter. He tells her she must leave the museum, and if not, he'll sue her for stalking. He saw her yesterday near Song's house. She fires back that if he sues her, he should also sue the road to Sion Page for stalking and posting pictures. Their argument is interrupted when she receives a special notification. She won a ticket to Sion's exclusive fan event. Song also gets the same message and decides to go, disguised as a fan. At the event, Ayam's daughter is also present. Sion arrives and starts giving out prizes. Ryan is also there. When Song's turn comes, she wins the chance to take selfies with Xian. She nervously steps up and starts removing her mask, but Xian takes photos with her anyway and gives her a stuffed toy. After the party, Ayam's daughter follows Song, desperate to discover her real identity. Song manages to escape thanks to Ryan, who distracts Ayam's daughter by confronting her. Later, Song is at home, but she hasn't posted the pictures yet. Ryan is sitting on the road to Sion Page, waiting for an update. But nothing is posted, and even her phone is off. Worried, Ryan goes to her house. He finds her painting a chair, and when he tries to wash his hands, she refuses to let him in, saying the apartment is messy. She covers his eyes and lets him into the bathroom, but the paint won't come off with water, so he asks for acetone. She brings him something, still covering his eyes, and sits him down inside. She cleans his hand, then leads him out and removes the blindfold. As Ryan leaves, he spots Ayam's daughter in the garage, standing with her mother. She clearly wants something. Because Visa and the car were following Ryan everywhere, Ayam's daughter spots him and runs over, pretending she had been waiting for him to discuss work. She signals behind her mother's back that she will delete the fan page and stop stalking them. Ryan agrees to help and tells her mother that she has no business with his staff, asking her to go back to her duties at the museum. Ryan then informs Song that Ayam's daughter won't bother them anymore and won't follow them again. Xian calls Ryan asking if he can find him a manager to help with his music. Ryan suggests Choi. He goes with him to meet her, but Choi declines, saying she's too busy with her studio. Song overhears and asks Choi what she needs help with so they can assist. Choi needs wooden panels for the studio. When Eon finds out Ryan is helping, he shows up too, especially when he hears Ryan is involved. Eon helps them, and Choi tells him that Ryan and Song are just pretending to be in a relationship. She knows Eon likes her. Song realizes Choi knows they're faking a relationship in public and tells her it won't last long because Ryan is tired of lying and dragging himself through it. Choi talks to Ryan and tells him he gets jealous over Song even though their relationship isn't real. Ryan admits that it's not a real relationship, and Choi tells him to stop pretending and just end it. Song keeps thinking about him until she falls asleep. She dreams of herself as a child playing with a friend, then arguing, and wakes up feeling down and not wanting to go to work. Meanwhile, Ryan wakes up feeling suffocated, holding his phone. Song visits her friend at a cafe and finds out why she hasn't confessed her love. As they're talking, Ryan walks in. Lee sees him and Song quickly hides. When Ryan asks if Song is there, she says no and refuses to serve him. Ryan is certain he saw her. On her way to work, Song sees Choi and Ryan talking and gets upset. Ryan tries to speak with her, but she's cold and uninterested. Her co-workers notice and whisper that they must have had a fight, or that Song is jealous because of Choi. Ryan tries to talk to the staff, but they respond rudely. He jokes with Ayam's daughter and asks why they're being like this. She says they probably think he broke up with Song. Ryan tells her she's the only one who knows he didn't betray or leave Song, because she's always spying. Ryan gets angry, not understanding why Song treats him that way when she's the one who ended things. He confronts Song at work and asks about what she said yesterday. She explains that Ayam's daughter deleted the fan page and quit her job, so there's no issue now if they publicly announce their breakup. Ryan thanks her for everything and leaves. He goes home, picks up the flowers she gave him, throws them away, then retrieves them. He gets a message from the fan page saying he was accepted into a chat room but quickly leaves it. The next day at work during lunch, the girls go out and end up at the same restaurant as the guys. They all eat together. After they return, Song's parents come to have lunch with them. Ryan says he's still hungry, so they all go to a park to eat and take pictures together. Her parents later leave. Ryan walks her home, and Song sits alone crying because she loves Ryan. Yoon comes over to comfort her. He's also heartbroken because he loves her, even though she loves someone else. Lee goes to dinner with her husband. She hangs up his clothes and finds a bag, thinking he's cheating, but he actually bought the bag for her, trying to reconnect. Later, Ryan is holding a juice when he runs into Cian in the elevator. Cian wants to hang out, but Ryan rudely brushes him off and leaves. The next day, Ryan and Cian go to Choi's place to discuss work. As workers deliver wood panels, Choi sends Song to receive them. Ryan asks about Song's whereabouts, and Choi tells him she went to handle the delivery. Ryan follows her and confesses his love. On the way back, Song tells Ryan that even Eon has hinted at liking her. They go to her place and eat together. He looks around her apartment. Song visits Lee at the cafe and tells her everything that happened. She then returns to work. Her relationship with Ryan starts to heal. They go back to being happy like before. Ryan holds a team meeting and asks for ideas to promote Xian's exhibit. Ayum's daughter suggests some ideas until Ryan is finally convinced. One coworker pulls Song aside and says he's disappointed they reconciled and that Ryan won't change. Song tells them not to talk about him that way again and assures them she's fine. Choi arrives and asks to speak with Ryan. She asks about their relationship. He says they never really fought. She says that's good, and then she hands over photos of artwork from a New York gallery. After the meeting, she tells Song that Ryan wanted to end the fake relationship so he could make it real. Choi goes to Lee's cafe and runs into Eon. They chat for a while. Meanwhile, Ryan takes Song out for a walk around the city. They have fun and go back to her place. Lee and Eon are heartbroken, drinking together and crying, while Song is happily texting Ryan. Lee grabs her phone and hangs up on Ryan. The three drink until morning. Ryan comes to see Song and realizes they spent the night drinking. Song wears black and doesn't want Ryan to see her. He jokingly calls her the admin of the Road to Xi'an page. She quickly pulls him inside and grabs his hand, taking him with her. In the car, she wonders how he found out she was the page's owner. He asks how long Yoon has been with her. She laughs and asks where they're going. Ryan says, "How about you drive today?" Admin of Road to Xi'an. She sinks into the seat, hides her face behind books in embarrassment. He stops the car and asks her when Cian's schedule is. She remembers all of it. He takes her to his place. She asks why, but when they get to the elevator, Cian is there. Ryan hides her from Cian and greets him, then continues on with Song. He asks her about the fan page and why she kept it a secret. They talk until Ayum's daughter arrives. Song rushes to meet her. The daughter says her mom doesn't want Cian participating in the exhibition and she wants them to change her mind. When she leaves, Ayum is spying again. They argue. Ayum is furious about her job and ends up getting fired by her mother. Song offers to take her to her family home. She stays in Eon's room, and his mother welcomes her warmly and prepares food. Later, Song goes to meet Eon, and he asks why she doesn't love him. He confesses his love, but Song tells him she loves Ryan. Eon still hopes she might change her mind and gives her space to think. While Song is at work, she sees a photo with one of the gallery paintings, and they find one of Lee Sol's paintings, and Song shows it to Ryan. He rushes to see it. When they find it, Song sends it to the museum for restoration. Ryan stands silently in front of it. The painting needs repair. As Song and Ryan walk together, she tells him she knows someone who's great at restoring paintings and that she'll send it over. She apologizes for the trouble she's caused. Meanwhile, Choi and Cian are in the studio. He's recording music and seems genuinely happy working with her. Later, Cian asks Ryan if he can see one of Lee Sol's paintings. Ryan tells him it was sent for restoration. Cian says he misses seeing all 9 paintings gathered together. Ryan invites him for fried chicken. At Song's house, her mother finds her room filled with photos of the artist she loves and starts hitting her. Ryan arrives, hears the yelling, and rushes in to stop her mom. Song admits she's obsessed, and Ryan says he already knows and that he loves her too. Her mom walks away, leaving them together. The next morning, Ryan visits Song. She comes downstairs and they hang out late into the night playing cards. Ryan loses, and Song playfully punishes him by hitting him softly. They stay up until she falls asleep. The next morning, she stops by Lee's cafe and runs into Eon, but she doesn't talk to him like she used to. She seems nervous and walks away. Lee asks Eon what's going on, and he admits he confessed his love. Ryan holds a meeting where Ayum's daughter presents a model for Cian's gallery opening, and he likes the idea. They all go to a children's orphanage museum to spend time with the kids and give out gifts. Ryan wasn't going to come, but shows up with tons of toys. Song asks when he got all the gifts. He says he met with Xian, who gave him everything after hearing he was visiting the orphanage. They all play with the kids. Song asks Ryan to draw her, but he's still upset. She grabs his hand and helps him move the pencil. Meanwhile, Eon gets a call saying his friend is drunk and not conscious. He rushes over and finds Choi. They spend the night at his training camp in a tent. She wakes up remembering everything and leaves. Song picks up the restored painting. Ayum's daughter doesn't want to participate in the event, so they fight. Her mom demands she do it. Ayum's daughter is happy to finally do something meaningful at work, throws away her previous model, and walks off. Sian's mother arrives. He hasn't seen her in a while. He finds out she's the one who painted all 9 of the Lee Sol paintings that his father had sold. It's revealed that she is Lee Sol, the original artist. Ryan and Song return home, and in the elevator, they run into Sian and his mom. She faints. Sian helps her into the gallery room, where she sees the paintings and cries, asking, "You still remember them?" Meanwhile, Song's father is walking when someone starts following him. He runs and finds Eon, who helps him escape in the elevator. Ayum's daughter stops them and enters with her bag. Eon tries to call Song, but she doesn't answer. He sends her a picture of Ayum's daughter in her room. She calls him back and finds out Ayum kicked her out after their fight. Song searches for the artist Lee Sol and asks Eon's mom about her. She finds her university records and eventually discovers that Sian's mother is Lee Sol. When Sian's mother sees the final painting, she feels faint and goes to the bathroom. Song confronts her and says she knows she's Lee Sol. Lee Sol admits it, but says she stopped painting because of something painful in her past. She doesn't explain further. Sian talks to Ryan, saying his mother may try to ask Ryan for help behind his back because she doesn't want to exhibit the paintings. Ryan asks why she's so against it, and Sian explains he wants his mother to reclaim her name as an artist. Ryan now realizes Lee Sol is Sian's mother and that she doesn't want to remember the paintings due to bad memories. Lee Sol calls out to her son. Ryan realizes she's his mother too. She asks him to stop causing a scene and come home with her. Ryan sits alone, thinking. Song realizes Ryan knows Lee Sol is his mother. She tells him she found out by coincidence. Ryan says he has been searching for her for 3 years. He only remembers a woman painting when he was a child. He walks off, overwhelmed, the thoughts racing in his mind. Song meets Eon, and they chat over drinks. He asks what she wants for her birthday since it's coming up. After talking, they part ways. Ryan returns home and finds Sian waiting at his door, looking sad. Ryan ignores him, refusing to speak, and goes inside. The next morning, Song brings Ryan breakfast to cheer him up. His mood improves. Later, Song heads to work and gets a call from Sian, asking to meet her alone. When they meet, he asks if Ryan no longer wants to be in the exhibition because he refuses to speak to him. Song explains Ryan is upset about something else entirely, and the exhibition will happen on time. Sian learns from her that Ryan is acting this way because of his mother. Years ago, Lee Sol stopped painting after injuring her hand, long before Sian was born. One of the paintings with bubble-like texture is the only one she finished before her father destroyed and sold the rest, which broke her spirit. Song meets Ryan at the museum. He tells her mother called him to remind him of her birthday. He meets his mom and shows her one of the paintings he has. She sees it and cries. He finds out she's his mother but leaves without saying anything. At the museum, Song tries to call Ryan, but he quickly hangs up. Meanwhile, Lee Sol sits crying in the garden with Sian. Song searches for Ryan and eventually finds him at the museum. They argue because she was worried about him. Ryan leans into her lap, saying he's too emotionally overwhelmed to sleep at home and opens up about what happened. The next morning, Ayum's daughter gets on the bus to work, followed by Ayum herself. When they arrive at the museum, they find Song and Ryan asleep together on a couch. Ryan wakes up embarrassed. Sian comes to Ryan and tells him he now knows they're brothers. Sian says fate brought them together by coincidence. He had always felt drawn to Ryan and wanted to be close to him. He asks Ryan to give him their mother's number so he can talk to her and learn the truth. Ryan refuses. Meanwhile, Song searches for the last 2 missing Lee Sol paintings. She manages to find them and informs Ryan. He calls his mother and asks to see her. When they meet, he asks why she left him. She tells him she never meant to. She thought she'd come back quickly, but things went out of her control and she didn't know how to return. She tells him that 2 years had passed and during that time she had money, but suddenly lost it. One day, Ryan walked in and asked for food, so she took him to the garden to play while she went to get something to eat. But on her way, a car hit her, and she fell into a coma for a while. When she finally woke up, she couldn't find him again. As he leaves, she asks him what he thinks of everything she said. He tells her he wants to believe her. The next day, Song goes to the gallery with Xian and his mother. They meet Ryan there, who's still upset with his mom. She tells him if he's uncomfortable, she'll leave, but he refuses. They go to see the final painting. His mother had painted it. Ryan remembers his childhood with her. Xian thanks Song for everything she's done for them. After that, Song decides to leave the mother and sons to have some time together. She heads to the museum to help the staff prepare for the gallery opening. Choi goes to work and joins a meeting with Ryan. Song apologizes and says she'll let them talk privately. Ryan ends the meeting shortly after. After work, they all go out for lunch and celebrate Song's birthday. Song asks Ryan not to drink because they'll be making a public appearance that night. When Song gets home, she goes into the art room and asks Ryan to draw her. He manages to do it. Meanwhile, Song's mother is sitting sadly, holding a photo of a boy and crying. She remembers a long time ago when she found a boy and took care of him for a while, but later gave him up. That boy was Ryan. Ryan returns home and asks Song to go inside first while he follows. When she enters, she finds Xian standing with a birthday cake. He's throwing her a surprise party. Ryan had set it up, knowing how much she loves Xian. She takes photos with Xian and has a wonderful time. Meanwhile, Ryan sits with his mother for a while before going to celebrate with Song. After the party, Ryan gives Song childhood photos of himself and asks her to send him photos of her as a child. When she returns home, she sends him the photos. Her mother is with her. And then Eon shows up with a birthday gift for Song. Ryan looks at the photos of Song and her mother, remembering when she once yelled at him, saying, "I'm not your mother," and abandoned him in front of the orphanage. Ryan goes to Song's mother and discovers he was the boy who lived with them before being placed in the orphanage. Ryan visits Eon and reflects deeply. He asks Eon about the little boy who used to play with them. Eon tells him it was Song's brother. He passed away. Later, Song's mom tells her about the time she met Ryan. She took him in when he had no one. But after her son Duxu died, she lost control. Song had also been between life and death after they were in an accident together. She was overwhelmed and decided to send Ryan to the orphanage. Song's father stays by her side because she's emotionally devastated, remembering the accident and her brother's lifeless face. Song's mom visits Ryan and promises never to abandon him again. He forgives her. She keeps apologizing and explains that all of it happened because of the grief of losing her son. Elsewhere, Ayum's daughter goes to Eon and asks him to train her. But when he invites her to try, she refuses and leaves. She had only come out of curiosity. She then goes to Song's house and sees her mother waiting outside, trying to force her to come with her. But Song's parents step in and stop her. When they find out she's the girl's mother, they reconcile, and she goes with them. Song and Ryan return home. Ryan shows her the portrait he drew of her. She's impressed and happy he's drawing again like he used to. Song wakes up with Ryan beside her and reflects on how sweet yet painful the memories are. She remembers her brother Duxu and smiles while wondering what Ryan was doing while she slept. He tells her he was drawing her. She's touched. They attend Xian's exhibition. He opens the event using the sculpture made by Ayum's daughter. She and her mom watch proudly. Ryan stands with his brother and mother, all smiling in front of the paintings. Lee Sol, his mother, thanks Song for all her efforts. Song offers to take their picture and keeps snapping photos of them together. Afterward, they all go to Lee's cafe. Lee is overjoyed to see Xian with them. Ryan's mom orders the same drink as her son due to her allergy, making everyone smile. Xian hears some music and asks Lee about it. She shares it with him, and he's impressed by both the lyrics and the melody. She tells him she'll send him the first copy of the album when it's done. Then, Song's and Ryan's families go together to the Choikang Temple. Ryan's mom meets Song's mom and thanks her for taking care of Ryan during the month before he was taken to the orphanage. They pause and remember Duxu. Song's mom recalls how he always laughed in that place. Song says, "I'll make you laugh too," and hands Ryan's mom pictures of Ryan as a little boy, taken when he was living with them. Song is with Eon, and Ryan's mother tells her, "You're kind-hearted toward my son. It's obvious you loved him." Song walks out and sees her father standing in front of a statue, upset and holding a stone. She asks, "What's this?" He tells her that after her brother died, he found this stone, and when he held it, it felt warm, like he was holding his son's hand. Song takes the stone and realizes it truly is warm. She can feel her brother Duxu's presence through it. Meanwhile, Eon is with his mother, and she asks him to live with her until he gets married. Ryan and Song go for a walk together, then stop at a store where Ryan buys a lot of red paint to use in his art. That night, Song sees Ryan sitting in the art room. When he enters, he finds her asleep in front of her laptop, so he gently picks her up and carries her inside. The next morning, Song meets with Choi, who is leaving for New York and came to say goodbye. Ryan shows up, greets her, and learns about her trip. He smiles and says the work there must be better. When he reaches out to shake her hand, Choi is surprised. It's the first time he's ever done that. She notices paint on his hand and realizes he's started drawing again. She tells him that everyone in New York has been asking about him. Later, Song brings Ryan a drink and asks him if he'll ever return to work in New York. She's worried he might not come back to his country because of her, but Ryan assures her that's not the reason. He only started over 3 years ago and isn't that eager to go yet. Choi spends the evening with Eon before she leaves. She teases him, saying it's time he gets married and starts a family, and to always keep in touch. She's happy to have had such a friend. Choi and her husband go to the studio with food and treats for the boy working there on his album. Song receives a joyful call, and a while later, their co-workers visit Lee and learn she's heading to America. She's been invited to curate the Mono exhibit at On's gallery. They had asked her to recommend someone with at least 5 years of experience. Ryan asks Song if she's thought about the job offer and made a decision. She smiles, realizing he was the one who recommended her. He tells her he just found out about the news today as well. When he asks if she'll go, she says yes. He replies, "That's a great decision. She's happy she'll travel, and that Ryan will be with her." Ryan goes to tell his mother and brother that he'll be working as a Korean language teacher for children raised abroad. Shin looks sad. It's hard for him that everyone's leaving. Ryan gathers the employees for a final meeting, informing them he's leaving and that a new manager will take over. Eon returns to the museum and Song spends the evening with Eon, Lee, and Ryan. It's their last night together. Lee is sad, knowing she won't see Song for a while. Ryan and Song go to her apartment and he puts on a ring and proposes to her. We see the girls at the bookstore buying Sion's new album. His band Feed has released their debut. Lee drops off her son at school and heads out for a fun day with her husband. A year later, we see Ayum waiting outside the prison for her husband to be released. When he comes out, she clings to him and notices he's gained weight. She jokes, "Looks like they fed you too much in there." She calls out to Kim and starts feeding him something white, then tells him, "From now on, you have to lose weight." At work, Ayum meets with the staff and introduces the new deputy manager. She calls her in, and it's Song. Later, Song visits her mother, and Eon arrives as well. Her mom asks when they'll get married. She replies before Eon can answer, saying he talks to someone a lot and seems committed. She jokes, "It must be Choi," but he tells her no. They leave and head to her apartment where they find Lee, who announces she's pregnant. Song is thrilled and asks why she didn't say anything earlier. Lee says she only just found out by chance. They start teasing Eon, trying to get him to admit who his girlfriend is. Then we see Eon filming videos with Ayum's daughter. It turns out she is his girlfriend. Song goes to work and Ryan calls her, asking about the place where they used to meet for work. She starts walking there while talking to him, and then he shows up behind her, walking toward her. And with that, the film ends. If you like the summary, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new recap. And if you want us to summarize any movie or series, drop its name in the comments.